Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I want to thank Clean Sweet Culinary Water for sponsoring this session, Ultimate Simplicity Shabu-Shabu. And I am excited to welcome Taka from Clean Sweet up to the stage, who will introduce us to our presenters today. We're going to take just a few seconds because sometimes it takes a minute to upload them onto the screen. There they are.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Taka. Take it away, okay?
All right, hi everyone. I'm Taka Hidaishi of Mitsubishi Chemical Prince Corporation. I'm doing the US marketing activity. And today I would like to welcome two chefs from Sushi Taro restaurant in Washington, D.C. Chef owner Nobu Yamazaki and executive chef Masaya Kitayama. And we're going to demonstrate the shabu-shabu cooking. So chef, stage yours.
All right, so thank you for having us, and let's start. And the title or the theme of today's session is Ultimate Simplicity. So let's start with showing the ingredient that we're going to be using. And it's not so much of a recipe, but it's more of how the ingredient is used. And let's just see, let's show you. You can't really see much well. It's in the package. This one, the first one is the kombu kelp from Rishiri. This one is a small island on the tip of the northern tip of the Hokkaido island. And this one is considered to be the best type of kombu kelp. It gives a really nice sweetness with clean color and a beautiful flavor without overwhelming of the ocean flavor. And also, this is also a product from the same kind of kelp, but this is a shaved kelp. It's very finely shaved, and this we are going to be using. And another kelp, we are using lots of kelp product, and this one is powder that's made from these kombu from the Hokkaido. And other than that, we have just a salt, Wagyu beef, A5, and also house-made noodle, udon noodle. And these are the ingredients that we're going to be using. Okay, so let's start by starting the dashi. As you all know, Japanese cooking, dashi is probably the most important, the foundation or the backbone of the cooking. And if you get the right dashi, then you're like 80% done with your cooking. And one ingredient that I didn't show you is the water. This one we are using today, clean sweet water, which is a Japanese filtering system that we install in our restaurant. It has two kinds of filter. One is to purify, just like any other purification system, but the other filter, that softens the water, and that becomes very important to make the dashi from a kombu kelp. And let me just explain what it is. In Japan, natural water all over is mostly soft water, but you can kind of divide into west and east. West side being like a Kyoto and Osaka style of cooking, which use a lot of the kombu kelp. It's a much softer water. It brings out a good flavor, the sweetness of the kombu kelp without getting the overwhelming of the iodine bitter flavor. So it's always being used a lot of the kombu kelp. Whereas the Tokyo side, the east side of Japan, they are a little bit harder compared to west side, and they can't get the same flavor of the dashi from the kombu kelp. So they rely a lot more heavily on bonito flake, which you all know. We all know that Japanese dashi to be a combination of the kelp with bonito, and they have a different type of umami flavor, and the combination of that makes it. But today it's the ultimate simplicity. So we just want to stick with the kombu kelp and using the soft water. And to make a dashi with the kombu, one thing you don't want to do is to bring it to boil. You want to make it hot, but you want to stay at, like, if you see the little bubbles in the pot right now, this is where you want to stop or just keep the temperature. And if you just boil it, the water becomes kind of murky and bring us the unwanted flavor from the kelp. You just want to draw the umami part of the kelp by staying the temperature like 185 or so. And you can do that for about 30 minutes to get all the flavor out. It's even better if you just soak the kombu kelp ahead of time. We did it about an hour beforehand, or you can do it overnight, soak it. And then you can get more flavor. And now the water is ready, so we're gonna drop in the Wagyu beef here, A5 Shabu-Shabu. Seems like you are wasting such a beautiful piece of Wagyu beef by dropping in hot water. But this is actually a great way to enjoy the Wagyu beef. Wagyu has so much of the fat that you don't want to eat too much of it, but by dropping in the hot water, it just takes the excess fat, but at the same time, kind of coagulate with the heat to seal the umami. And also, because we are using the kombu kelp, the inosinic acid and the glutamic acid combination there is just surrounding the Wagyu beef. Wagyu beef, it's a great product, but it doesn't have the strong beef flavor compared to like Angus, black Angus here. So it's very subtle and very nuanced flavor that can be easily overwhelmed. If you use like a dashi with the bonito stock, it kind of, tastes good, but you're tasting more of the bonito flavor rather than the Wagyu beef. So we want to make it very simple. Now it's being shabu-shabu is done. And to enjoy this, we have the kelp powder. This is the same type of kelp that's been finely powdered. We just want to sprinkle a little bit to add a little more umami on it. And also the salt. We are using the French natural salt, the fleur de sel, and just a little bit of sprinkle. That brings the flavor of the beef, and also adding a little bit of crunch to it. So not just the melting in your mouth beef, but it has a texture as well. So this is a way of presenting the simplest way of serving the shabu-shabu here. And once the beef is done, we want to cook udon noodle in the same pot. By doing that, we need to heat it up, but we have to take the kombu first. Like I said, if you overcook the kombu, you're gonna get the flavor that you don't want, unwanted flavor into the dashi. And the kombu dashi, it helps to purify the dashi. So once it's going to be heated, you see the foam on the surface, and that's much easier to collect than just the regular water. And give it a few seconds, and it's coming into boil. So we're gonna take the foam and then start cooking the udon noodle. And the house-made udon noodle, this one is a little bit thick. So it's gonna take like 10 minutes if we want to cook actual from the roll form like this one. So this one, it's the same noodle, but we pre-cooked ahead. So we're just gonna drop it in and get all the umami flavor combined with the udon noodle. And so take it away.
So now the surface, the pot surface came out the foam. So we need to remove, because the fresh noodle, they can absorb all the dashi or the soup stock. So that's it. Better to remove surface of the
forms. Then now I'm going to put the udon noodle. So the house-made udon noodle. So this one made from wheat flour and salt and soft water. So by using soft water, when you make noodle, much easier to kneading, much short time, the resting time, and then when you spreading the noodle, it's much easier. It's not too soften, but it still have nice and strong textures. So even but if you use hard water, the noodle become very strong and too tough texture. But by using the softened water, the noodle become nice and chewy, and then the surface become very smooth. Okay, I think they're ready to pick up noodle. So I think they already absorbed dashi taste into the this noodle. I might be better more cook, but I'm going to pick up right now. I'm going to pour a little bit of dashi. Then I add tiny hint of the soy sauce. It's just a regular soy sauce. Just a little bit. It's enough. And then now I'm going to put the shaved kelp. Here you go.
So again, the udon noodle, we serve it very simplest way. And after the udon noodle is cooked, there's still some more broth or the dashi left in the pot. This one you don't want to throw away. It has all the good flavor in it. And after cooking the noodle, it with the starch and the flour, it kind of make it a little bit starchy, saucy. So this one you can just add like what we did was adding a little bit of soy sauce and make a great soup, or you can reduce a little bit and to make it as a stock base or to make a sauce with this one. So anything you do not throw away and enjoy this the full pot of the noodle, wagyu, and the soup, dashi. And so, like I said, the water is a very important thing. And for the Japanese dashi, it seems really simple, but for each ingredient takes a long time to get to this point. Like the kombu that we use today, that's been aged 3 years. The kombu can grow really quickly, like a 3 months, 4 months period. Once it's harvested, you don't want to use it like fresh, even though it's dried. First year of the kelp that's being picked, it gives more of the ocean flavor, not the umami concentrated flavor. So by these kelp company, they would put it in their special warehouse. It's being the moisture and the temperature is being controlled, and they just take in these years, 3 years. Some of them can take like 10 years to get really premium flavor concentration of the kombu. Same as bonito. That just we use it all the time, bonito, shaved bonito, but it's not just a dried fish. It takes like usually about 6 months to over a year to get all those good flavor concentrated. So by just shaving or just dropping in the water, a good water, and we can make a really good flavor dashi in say 20 minutes or 30 minutes, whereas you can spend half a day or a whole day to get, if you have like animal bones and the vegetable stock, it takes much longer. But for the Japanese cooking, all the ingredients already went through a lot of process to bring out the umami flavor. All we need is again the good ingredient. Like we are saying that the soft water brings a lot more flavor of the ingredient. So that's very important. But that makes it very simple, but a great flavor. So that's our presentation of the day, I guess.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. And if you have any question or comment, please feel free to type in the chat section, or send me the direct message, and so that we can communicate further. All right. Any question?
Hi, Taka. It looks like there is a question in the chat about the water. So can you explain a little bit about the water and why you use it for the shabu-shabu?
Well, we installed this filtering system a couple years ago, and before that, Washington D.C. I hate to say, but the tap water in Washington is not suited for cooking Japanese cuisine. It's so much harder. It has a lot of the calcium in it, and that just does not bring the flavor that we want for our cooking. And once we tried it with using clean sweet water, we tried a lot of the different type of the water, including the natural spring water, the filtered water, the tap water, the clean sweet water. We measured everything, same exact amount of the kombu and the bonito to get to test how much of the difference that the dashi, the water can make to make a dashi. And it just stood up really above anything else that we have on the market. So that's why we are using this one. And for other type, like if you are just taking like the stock from the bones, then you might want to use the hard water. But for Japanese cooking, especially for when it comes to kelp, you want to stick with the soft water. So the water does make a big difference.
That is fantastic. Thank you. And then it looks like we have one more question before we head back to our breakouts, which is there a specific type of kombu that is important or traditional to the shabu-shabu?
Yeah, we are using the Hokkaido kelp. So of course, you can buy from China or the other countries, but from the Hokkaido, the kelp is so much better quality, and then they take care very well. Doesn't have any汚れとか。
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they take, well, these are coming from Hokkaido. They've been making these kelp for years and years, so they know how to take care of it. They're not just selling any product, So I mean, like this one is from a really well-known company that makes the kombu for hundreds of years. So they have a reputation. You can buy any kind of kombu in a supermarket, but the repetition is something that you want to look after. So you can buy. It may be a little more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah. the good kombu and the bad kombu if you taste it.
Yeah, can maintain the taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah, sometimes the bad kombu can be melt once you cook. It starts melting and then become cloudy. That one is, you cannot use. It's very stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bad kelp, you don't want to put too much. The good kelp, you can add more and more, and it just brings a good umami flavor without, disrupting the flavor. So
fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you, Taka, for bringing us all together, and for Clean Sweet especially. We hope everyone enjoyed today's session, and it will be on demand starting next week. So for now, I encourage you to go back to your breakout sessions tab. And there are multiple different choices that you can then choose from for your next educational tour. So thank you again, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.